If you've ever forgotten to water a houseplant for a few days, you've seen this happen. It goes from vibrant and upright to completely slumped over, almost like it's lost its bones. But why does a thirsty plant collapse while a thirsty human just gets a dry mouth? You don't see people physically deflating when they're overdue for a glass of water. The answer is hidden inside the cells that build us. Both you and that plant are made of advanced microscopic factories that share the same basic layout. Whether it's a leaf or a lung, these cells use the same equipment: a central command center for instructions and internal power plants to keep the lights on. Even though their interiors are identical, the outer architecture of these cells went in two opposite directions over 1 billion years ago. This physical difference on the outside of the cell is the reason plants can stay stationary and eat sunlight, while animals are forced to move and find food. Think of an animal cell like this fluid-filled water balloon. It's squishy, flexible, and reacts to every touch. Because your cells are built like these balloons, your body can bend, twist, and sprint. You trade away a hard outer shell for the ability to move. A plant cell is that exact same water balloon, but it's permanently trapped inside a rigid, cardboard-like box called a cell wall. When a plant drinks, its internal storage tank fills, forcing the balloon to expand tightly against the rigid walls. This creates intense turgor pressure, making the cell incredibly rigid. But without water, the balloon deflates, and the rigid walls lose support and sag. Since plants lack skeletons, they rely on millions of these pressurized microscopic boxes to stay upright. When the pressure drops, the whole plant wilts. To stay alive, these cells need to move supplies in and out. This happens at the cell membrane, a selective security gate that decides exactly what can pass through. Some things move through the gate for free. Molecules naturally flow downhill into the cell without using energy. But often, the cell must push things uphill against the crowd. This requires active effort, hauling materials across the membrane to keep the internal environment stable. This heavy lifting isn't free. The cell spends its biological energy to power these gates. It works like a hydroelectric dam. The cell uses fuel to pump water into a high reservoir, storing energy for other jobs later on. Some cells can even fold their membranes inward to swallow large items. But plants find this nearly impossible, because their internal pressure is pushing so hard against the wall that the membrane can't easily fold back. Whether it's a flexible balloon or a rigid box, every cell is constantly spending energy to fight against natural chemical currents. For a body to grow or heal a wound, a cell has to make a perfect copy of its instructions and split itself in two. See how a soft, fluid droplet handles this. It pinches tighter and tighter in the middle until it cleanly snaps into two identical droplets. Because animal cells are flexible, they divide just like this, cinching their membranes from the outside in, like pulling a drawstring on a bag. But plant cells are trapped in their rigid boxes. They can't pinch themselves in half without shattering the very wall that protects them. Instead, they must build a brand new wall right down the middle, growing it from the inside out until the single box becomes two separate rooms. This simple architectural difference, a wall versus a membrane, changes the fundamental way a living thing grows and reproduces. Every difference between a giant oak tree and the squirrels living in its branches comes down to this microscopic choice in design. The rigid box allows plants to stack themselves tall and survive as stationary towers that turn light into food. And the flexible balloon design gives these animals the mobility to bend, stretch, and chase down their survival. This flexibility is what allows muscles to ripple and limbs to swing, trading structural rigidity for the power of movement. So the next time you water a drooping plant and watch it stand back up, you're seeing that physics in action. You're watching millions of microscopic balloons inflating until they're strong enough to reach for the sun.